one team $6 million a year. Can you believe this?
And why is that?
It's the Roman circus. What does the emperor do when the people become restive, and when the people are asking questions, and when the people don't like the policies of the emperor? He sends them to the circus. He creates a circus. He builds a giant coliseum. And he begins to throw the Christians to the lions. He has great chariot races and football games and basketball games, all to keep the idiots preoccupied with things that don't mean anything in the scheme of the entire world, so that they don't have the time to learn what the truth is, so they don't ever get smart enough to learn how they're being manipulated, so they don't ever question the emperor. That's why they pay a player on a football team or a baseball team $1 million or $2 million or $3 million a year. It is the Roman circus. I know men who don't know anything in the world except who plays third base for the Mets. And they think that's a great accomplishment. And they meet and pat each other on the back and bond and go have cocktails and talk about what this guy who plays third base for the Mets did in last night's game. It's sad. It's really sad.
Hello and welcome, fellow digital soldiers, to True Reporting. It is January 13th, and on today's podcast, we'll be covering news articles, memes, weird tweets from James Comey, Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Is she still alive or is she dead? Also, another adolescent drag queen has made his way into the mainstream media, being photographed with a naked man. It doesn't get worse than that. Also, Lady Rothschild passed away at 83 years old. So a lot going on, guys. But before we get into all of that, would you please go ahead and click the bell on my channel so when I post, you'll be the first to know. Also, please follow me on Twitter at True Reporting. And don't forget to leave a like on this video. The more likes that it receives, the more times it is recommended to other viewers. Thus, more eyes on the truth. And with that being said, my friends, let's go ahead and hop into it. This is True Reporting. So, like I said, we have Ruth Bader Ginsburg. A lot of news going on around about her, and I don't believe it to be hearsay. It says, alert, Justice Ginsburg, not even in D.C., as grave health rumors swirl. And this was from 2 days ago. Via comments from Dr. Sebastian Gorka last night, as well as repeated whisperers from the Supreme Court press pool, rumors are swirling that Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg was relocated to New York City and preparing to vacate her position due to illness. So we know what that means. That means another Supreme Court judge brought in by President Trump. That is huge. While some claim she continues to receive treatment and or recover from her recent cancer diagnosis, others suggest she is in fact receiving hospice care in New York City and hasn't been in Washington, D.C. for several days. The truth perhaps can be found somewhere in the middle of both those extremes. But what was undeniable is that should Ginsburg step down, the battle to fill that vacancy on the court will likely be as contentious and hard-fought as anything we've seen yet. We know how hard it was for Brett Kavanaugh to get in. They're going to fight an uphill battle, but we'll definitely get in. Somebody who's reliable and who actually abides by the Constitution, right? It says here from Sebastian Gorka, multiple sources tonight tell me this woman is not even in D.C. but in New York and preparing to step down from the Supreme Court. And you ready for what will ensue? I think he means, are you ready for what will ensue? So, yeah, very crazy stuff happening along those lines. We can also talk about another, I would categorize these people as enemies. So, racehorse owner, I love that. Lady Rothschild dies at 83. I believe that this is Jacob Rothschild's wife, if I'm not mistaken. It says here, she died in a hospital on Sunday having fought a recent illness most valiantly. A spokeswoman said Lady Rothschild ran Waddesdon's stud in Buckinghamshire in 2011. Her colt Nathaniel won the King George VI and Queen Elizabeth Stakes at Ascot. Born Serena Mary Dunn, she was the daughter of financier Sir James Dunn and married Lord Rothschild in 1961. She and her investment banker husband had 4 children and 8 grandchildren. Nathaniel clashed on more than one occasion with the legendary racehorse Frankel and ended his career with a 3rd place behind the unbeaten colt in the 2012 Champion Stakes. In 2006, Lady Rothschild paid a then record 4.6 million, I believe it's pronounced Guinness, for a brood mare when purchasing Magical Romance. So this is in the news, and all they talk about is her horse. So it's very strange. Why wouldn't you talk more about the woman who died? But it is what it is, and you can see her pictured here with Prince Harry presented Serena Rothschild with the winner's trophy after her horse Nathaniel won the King George, I believe that's the 4th, and Queen Elizabeth Stakes at Ascot in 2011. So, you know, I believe these elite, these people who hold us down are fading out. They're losing strength. They're losing power big time. And let's go over this really quick. 10-year-old boy drag queen photographed with naked adult drag queen. Now, please, this is unbelievable, guys. This is I covered one before about a kid, you know, with his shirt off, you know, getting money thrown at him in Brooklyn. You know, this is just work of the devil. On Monday, 10-year-old Canadian boy Nemus Quinn Melicon Golden was featured in a troubling Huck magazine piece highlighting the life of a so-called child drag queen. This is the picture here. Child drag queen pictured with naked winner of RuPaul's Drag Race. What is going on? This is from the Daily Wire. That man is completely naked. And we see here young Nemus, whose drag name is Queen Latkashia, was shot by photographer Jonathan Frederick Turton for The Spread. In one of the shots that did not make the magazine, Nemus in full drag makeup and a black dress is posing for a photo with the Season 7 winner of RuPaul's Drag Race, Violet Chachki. In the shocking photo, Violet is wearing nothing but a pair of heels and a small piece of fabric covering his genitals as seen in the screenshot below. And this is from his Instagram. How is this legal? This is pedophilia. They're trying to blend it in with us, and I do not like it one bit. The other kid that we went over, I can't remember his name, was on Good Morning America with Michael Strahan, and he was praised and clapped, and they're just trying to... The sheep that are asleep, that have been lulled to sleep and hopefully will awaken at some point, they're not even shaken up by this. It's insane, guys. This is pedophilia in my opinion. And staying on the topic of pedophilia, how about this? I like this one even better. 8 pedophiles found dead after being exposed by online vigilantes. 8 men who were members of the UK pedophile ring have been found dead shortly after being exposed by online vigilantes. The daughter of Michael Duff, one of the 8 men who committed suicide after being shamed on the internet by pedophile hunters, I like this group, says she discovered that her father was a pedophile after seeing a video of her dad on Facebook attempting to meet a minor for sex. The Daily Mail UK says reports the 67-year-old was questioned on suspicion of attempting to meet a girl under 16 following grooming and released on bail. His body was found 2 days later in July 2015. His home in Teen and Ware. His daughter, Leslie Henderson, only found out her father had allegedly messaged a young girl when a friend warned her about a video circulating on social media. She told the Victoria Derbyshire program, "My friend said, look, I don't really know how to say this to you, Leslie, but there's a video going around on Facebook. It is your dad." Oh my word. It was on Facebook. I could already see mutual friends had viewed it, so there was nothing I could do. She told her daughter, then 15, your granddad's a pedophile, and showed her the video, something she later regretted. Someone she knew then posted footage of him being carried from his house to an ambulance in a body bag on Facebook. Leslie and her daughter did not speak to Megan again after the allegations were made, and she says she will never know the truth behind the claims. Obviously, it was real. She said she never suspected he had another side which might lead him to contacting a child. His death has left his family unanswered questions regarding his alleged actions. Leslie told the BBC, this could have been one-off thing where he's done something stupid. I know people would say, well, the thought was there, but the reality is he may not have actually committed any crime at all. Oh my God. We don't know because as soon as he took his own life, the case was closed. I don't know what was on my dad's computer, if anything. I'm never going to know because somebody deemed it to put it all over Facebook rather than letting police deal with it. The case was later referred to the Independent Police Complaints Commission, and officers contacted those who uploaded the video and asked them to remove it as a part of live investigation. The Truth Justice website later deleted the video. So yeah, guys. In 2017, evidence from vigilante groups was used to charge more than 150 suspects, and seven-fold increase in the past 2 years. But police officers working in child protections have warned the vigilante activity puts both hunters and targets at risk. We'll put them at risk. They're obviously doing something. These people are very demented. They're twisted. And I'm sure these vigilantes are working out of the goodness of their heart. They're not there to blackmail people or hurt anybody. They're here to get these horrible people off the streets, man. This is, I'm totally for this group. I don't care what anyone else says. I'm digging it. So if you guys want to check out, what are these guys called? Let's see. Truth Justice, the Truth Justice website. If you guys want to back them, definitely do it. And this is actually from thepedogate.com. So there's an actual website that is just focused completely on pedophilia, on exposing these people, bringing these people to justice, and I couldn't be more thrilled about it. With that being said, let's go into some memes because we have a lot of news coming on out about a lot of different things. Ruth Bader Ginsburg, James Comey, a lot going on. So we see here human trafficking, something that our president harps on constantly, reiterates it. Human trafficking is not recognized as a crime in Puerto Rico. Guess where most of our Democrats are this weekend? Puerto Rico. Instead of trying to secure our border and protect our people, what are they doing there? Unbelievable, right? So Puerto Rico is not recognized as a place. They don't charge people for human trafficking. That is crazy. We could see here a tweet from Donald Trump. Wow. Just learned in the failing New York Times that the corrupt former leaders of the FBI, almost all fired or forced to leave the agency for some very bad reasons, opened up an investigation on me for no reason and with no proof after I fired Lion James Comey, a total sleaze. And that was from yesterday. So, James Comey, back at it. The true colors of Ruth Bader Ginsburg, and you can look this up on YouTube. I believe she was bringing statements forward to Congress, and these are some of the things that she stands by. Men and women inmates share co-ed prison, co-ed boy Girl Scouts, no fraternities plus no sororities equals co-ed social societies. So that she's just trying to put people together. I don't see that being right. Mother's Day, Father's Day equals unconstitutional. Break it up, right? Reduce age of sexual consent to 12 and under. A lot of people say that she was one of the first social justice warriors back in the early 90s. Prostitution should be private and constitutional. Sex trafficking is private and should be legal. Look it up. She said all these things, I can promise you that. He, she, him, her, his, and hers, etc. equals sexist bad. I'm telling you, this is what she was saying in the early 90s. Fake news media is saying we haven't built any new wall. Below is a section just completed on the border. Anti-climbing feature included. Very high, strong, and beautiful. Also, many miles already renovated and in service. Typical standard wall design, 30-foot bollard wall constructed and installed. 30 feet. That's taller than a telephone pole. Nobody's getting over that, guys. They're not going to get over it. I can't wait for that thing to be completed. Barack Obama, I promise. Hillary Clinton, I promise. Maniac. Bernie Sanders, I promise. Trump, I deliver. And that is the truth. Now, let's check out this post. This was on 8chan. An Anon says, I might get attacked for saying this, but I think Comey either flipped or has always been a part of the plan. Q said the reason that they couldn't go after HRC for the private server was because Hussein also had one. Prosecuting Hussein would have been impossible at the time because the stage was nowhere near being set. It says here, once President Trump was in office, they needed a reason for there to be a special counsel. Everyone knew Russia collusion was nonsense, so they needed something else, obstruction. They made sure that the firing of Comey was going to be as dramatic as possible so the leftists would rush to his defense. Remember, they hated him in 2016. Now they love him. I believe that this was all an act. Comey leaked to the press in just the right amount of crumbs. He gave them just enough for them to use their bias to draw their own conclusions. He never said that POTUS obstructed justice or that he didn't obstruct justice. And just this alone gave Mueller, Sessions, and Rosenstein the 2 years they needed to work in peace and quiet, while the Dems-controlled media stayed away because they thought POTUS was the one being investigated. Of course, I have no proof of this, and it's all in my own theory, but it makes total sense, he says. I'm going off of gut instinct, too. Soros, Hussein, Brennan, Jarrett, Holder, Rice, Podesta, etc., they all look completely possessed and evil. James Comey, on the other hand, does not. So, we can see here a tweet from James Comey. The perfect day to see To Kill a Mockingbird on Broadway. Amazing cast and vital message. All rise. So, again, it's very strange. Joe M says, go order a funeral. Ruth Bader Ginsburg is dead. We see here the perfect day to see To Kill a Mockingbird on Broadway. Amazing cast and vital message. All rise. Joe M says down here, I agree with you, James. It is the perfect day to watch. Q Killing the Mockingbird. How about you in the kill box and your friends took control of the media and brainwashed 3 generations with lies? Yeah, so has Comey flipped? I do not know. People say Mueller and Rosenstein are both white hats. I've even said that. I've researched it. It can make sense. We are dealing with optics here, everybody. So, don't take it from me. It's just kind of a speculation. But it's very strange that James Comey tweeting about To Kill a Mockingbird. We know about the Mockingbird media. Is he bringing it down with him? I do not know. Is he going to throw them under the bus? He is in some instances, he's a pretty powerful person, a very big player in all of this scheme or this movie that is playing out. So has he flipped? I do not know. But very interesting, to say the least. Right here, The Guardian. Mackenzie Bezos, divorced from Amazon's CEO, could make her the world's richest woman over Oprah, I believe. She would be worth $173 billion. This guy needs to go broke. He is a waste. I cannot stand him. I'm going to leave you with this. Majestic 12 says, and I heard there's some speculation that don't trust Majestic 12, but, I'm putting it out there, so use your own discernment. No national emergency. Rod Rosenstein, RR. Why is Rod Rosenstein being protected? Did RGB create a diversion? Ruth, I think that's supposed to be Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Create a diversion? Or is the dam breaking? 41. Note, what is Mueller really doing? Military tribunals? Proof of life? Replacement before tribunals for a small delay? 45 is trying to force Congress to. It says here, Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein, who oversees Mueller probe, is expected to resign from his post at the Justice Department in a few weeks. CBS News confirms. So that's pretty big news, right? Right here, he says 45 is trying to force Congress to do its job and reform the immigration laws to make them merit-based and not lottery, with a physical barrier that stops human trafficking, drugs, and a cycle of human suffering. Absolutely. Congress must do its job. Trump has a gun to the deep state's head, metaphorically speaking. Are you enjoying the movie? Guardians of the Pedophiles. Barrier ends child sex trafficking by 99.9%. Who won't give 1/100th of the national budget to save just one American child's life despite the thousands of children who are dying? This should have been done by others 45. And with that being said, my friends, I'm rounding it off with that. If you found this informative and you enjoyed it, please subscribe to my channel. You can also follow me on Twitter at True Reporting. And don't forget to leave a like on this video. Guys, I know these videos are getting more scarce because of my full-time job. So, all the support, all the sharing, leaving a like, and you can also donate to this channel by going to my PayPal or my Patreon in the description box below. Guys, I hope you have a wonderful evening, and we will talk to you soon. Good night.